Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a banger video for you today. And the reason why I say it's a banger, because this video is going to teach you the easiest way to make more money. And why is it the easiest way? It's easy because it takes very little time to implement. It's not very complicated to implement, almost common sense. And when you do this, you're going to earn more because you're going to get more people to show up to your meetings and you're going to increase the conversion in those meetings. But let me show you how we're going to actually do this. So the way we're going to do this is by implementing a pre-call nurture process. And if you have a pre-call nurture process, you're going to get more people to show up for your meetings. How do I know this? Over the last few years, I've taken literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sales calls. More sales calls than I would ever want to take in my entire life. But I'm very grateful for it. I'm not complaining. More than I would have wanted. Anyways, so what do I promise? So I promise that in this video, I'm going to show you how to do something that's going to be very powerful and very easy. And literally, if you implement this today, you will start making more money almost immediately. Depends on the rate at which your leads are coming in, but I would say within like a week or two, you'll see the results from this work. And for clarity, the logic here is that the way we make more money is by doing more sales. Naturally, if you just do more sales, and all things stay the same, you're going to earn more at the end. To do more sales is the prerequisite to making more money. How do you do more sales? The prerequisite to do more sales or make more sales is to have more people show up to the sales calls. And then we're going to add leverage on that by doing something to increase the conversion rate. We're going to pre-sell the prospect as much as we possibly can, so that when they come to the call, they're already kind of ready to buy. And that is what we're going to learn about today. Okay, so two things. I'm going to teach you how to get more people to show up, and I'm going to teach you how to increase the conversion rates. Let's dive in. Let's dive in here. So the pre-call nurture sequence. Why do we do this? Because one, build trust with the prospects before the call. They don't know you. They don't know who you are. You're just a random guy on the internet. You gotta build trust from before the call. It's very important. Two, we gotta handle objections before the call. Okay, we already know if you're a salesperson and you don't know this, then you got other things to figure out. But most salespeople know the common objections for their products and services. This is a good opportunity to start handling them. And three, we're going to increase booking show rates. So let's dive into this. Try to rip through this a little bit quicker than my other videos. Try to stay focused here. Okay, so how does this build trust? The pre-call nurture sequences are an effective way to build trust before the call and increase the likelihood of a sale. For people to buy, they need to know, like, and trust you. The welcome sequence should share content about the brand, like case studies, helpful resources, guides, videos, etc., showing the prospect that you know what you're talking about. You have resources to help them in their journey, and that you're a real person. So when someone opts in via an ad or opts in via an email, you're just a message, and maybe, just maybe, you have your little face icon photo on your mailbox, but maybe you don't. And even if you do, it's like it's not so personal. But when you implement a pre-call nurture, you can start sharing resources to elaborate on the reason of why you're reaching out, elaborate on all the things that you've done in the past that were very successful, elaborate on common misconceptions and other things like that. It's just such a powerful opportunity. And why would that person want to be interested in seeing all that stuff? Well, if they're interested in having a meeting with you, then they're going to be interested in obviously nothing in life is like 100% of the time, other than maybe like gravity, but that they're going to want to see this stuff because they want to know more about who they're speaking with to see whether or not they actually want to show up to that phone call. So they're almost looking at this as like their own independent research. So that's how you should think about it. Okay. And by the way, stay to the very end because I'm going to get into some very tactical, like step-by-step stuff. I mean, I'll give you a little like taste here. We're going to go step-by-step of what to do, how the process looks, the automations, the whole shebang. But it's important. I probably should have put that in over here. We're going to go, anyways. Yeah. Anyways, it's important to know the philosophy behind this so that you're more bought into it, and then go ahead and do it. It's one thing to just be told to do something, but if you understand why you're doing it, you may be more likely to do it. And this is like such a no-brainer. And I can't think of the only reason I could think of that you wouldn't want to do this is if you just didn't want to make more money or something, and like a self-sabotaging person. But anyways, okay. Social pressure. So, like I said, we got to build trust. We want to add a little bit of social pressure. What does that even mean? The personalized outreach puts a little bit of social pressure to reinforce the meeting. Like I said before, when you are coming in through ad traffic, or I mean, it could even be through other, like any cold traffic source, but it could even be like a referral warm traffic source. If they don't know you yet, or they don't know that you're putting work in or effort into this meeting, they may not regard the meeting as so important, and they may potentially view the meeting as potentially low value, and like write it off and say, you know what, I'm not going to show, or I'm like, I don't really care, and that's fine. But especially if they have no idea who you are, then you're not a real person yet to them. You're just a company. You're not a real person, and they're like, I don't really need to show up to a Google meeting. But like they don't, they forget that behind that Google brand is an actual person who wakes up every day, goes to work, maybe has a wife and kids, and does all the same stuff that this person does. So we want to humanize it a little bit. That's part of putting the social pressure. And then I'm going to show you how to add a little bit of leverage to that. Okay, so as I said, sometimes when people book meetings with companies, they don't see the person, they only see the company. So when they get real messages from a rep saying stuff like the below, it'll increase the show rate. So we want to say stuff like, just hey, it could be very simple. Looking forward to meeting you. Starting to do some research, really interesting to see what you're working on. See you tomorrow. And a text on the same day saying see you soon. Again, just letting them know that you are personally invested into this, that you are putting time and effort into this, and that is why they should show up. I mean, if there's I think I've said this in another video, but there's the famous book called like Laws of Persuasion or something like that. And essentially it's like the law of reciprocity. And when people see that we're investing into something, when people see that we are investing into something, then they are more likely to invest into it also, because we're humans and we like to help each other out. Anyways, okay, getting a notification over here. It's a little distracting. That's fine. Overcome that. All right. What do we need to do this? So how does this all shake out? And what is the pre-call nurture sequence? To break it out, it's right here. Okay. I'll come back in a tie-in, but long story short, when a pre-call nurture sequence happens between the time that someone books the meeting with you, then there's this gap. This is like no man's land. Like anything and everything can happen. Many deals, many opportunities were lost in this empty space right here. The gap between booked meeting and meeting date. Booked meeting and meeting date. That time it's powerful time. Very valuable time. I'm telling you. Change this one thing. And then send me a check for all the extra money you're making. I should set up one of those like what are they called? Not a GoFundMe. The supporting. Anyways, all right. So let's see here. So what are we doing? So okay, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to fill the gap with stuff that is going to reinforce the sale. Okay, and we're going to fill that with several different notifications. And these notifications are going to be going out 1 through Calendly, 2 through automated sequences, 3 through manual emails and text, and or through the welcome campaign email. Now I'm going to go through each of those in more depth. Okay? So the meeting link is the first step. So we're gonna book the meeting in with them, and then inside of the meeting link, I know this is obvious stuff, but if you're not doing it or doing all of these in combination, I promise you, like you're legitimately leaving money on the table, and nobody likes to do that, unless again if you're a self-sabotaging person and you don't like you know hurting for yourself. Anyways, so okay, meeting link reminders are configured in the settings. Just go and do that. Easy add. It'll do. You can set one for like right when the meeting is booked, the day of, the day before. It's fine. No one is offended by getting blasted by Calendly notifications because it's not the person. It's just Calendly. I mean, like, what could you do? Everyone's aware of it, and it's a great way to remind people. The second thing, you want to opt them into a welcome campaign. And the reason why this is important is because the welcome campaign is going to be an opportunity to do a few different things. It's going to, you could do this in a newsletter tool or in like ConvertKit or something like that. To be honest, in our case, we actually do both in parallel. So we use the Beehive to tell it, which is more of like a newsletter style. Yeah, the newsletter style item, and we use this to tell a story about us and our brand and how we got here, and just like it's just more just like real people stuff. Like I said, because part of this is humanizing the interaction. I think fundamentally doing business with someone is really one of the most beautiful things because it's two people coming together with a common objective of solving some sort of or a mutual objective of solving some sort of problem. It's really beautiful. Like someone needs help, someone wants to help. There's an exchange of value. It's a beautiful thing. And in order to do that beautiful thing, you want to do that beautiful thing with people you know, like, and trust because it's kind of intimate. It's I need help with something. I need this. I need that. It's personal. It's personal. There's risk involved. So you want to know who you're doing business with, which is why we use Beehive to start to share a little bit about us, stories and just insights in our philosophies and ways of thinking, because kind of like philosophies, well, not all the time. And that's what we use that for. We also use ConvertKit to send out so that's going to be more of like a newsletter style content. And then we have ConvertKit, which is going to send out some like resources. It's going to be, we're changing it all the time, but like right now it's a free resource on showing like our go-to-market strategy, if I remember correctly. It's a free resource, and then it's like a video, and then it's like another resource or something like that. It's one of the guys in the company set that up. And then we also have that. Okay, as I said, should handle stories, should tell stories, handle objections, increase social proof. Yes, and I think the objections are in the ConvertKit, if I'm remembering correctly. But either way, that's how I would do that. Split it up between the two. Okay, then you have the CRM. So now, when the meeting gets booked, it should go and publish directly into your CRM. We use Close.com. Any CRM is honestly fine. But this is what happens in the automation. The meeting gets booked. It publishes to Close CRM. It tags the meeting. Oh, you can't see. Goes into Close CRM. It tags the meeting as meeting booked. The meeting booked enrolls it into a booked meeting. A booked meeting workflow, and a task is created at 50% of the time between the meeting booking date and the actual meeting date. I hope I wrote that down in here somewhere so that let's see. Yeah, that's kind of written down. So okay, as I said, every time a meeting is booked, an automated email goes out. The way it goes out is by we in the automation we are putting the tag, the status to book meeting, and then inside of close.com we have a booked meeting automation that every single time a lead gets that tag, it enrolls it into the booked automation sequence, which is just a one-step sequence, and it just says, yeah, when we did it this way because we want, like, yes, we are sending them all this other stuff, but that other stuff they know it's more, and it's marketing emails, and it feels like marketing emails, and that's completely fine that it's marketing emails. But again, it's we want to add that one extra layer of just of touch point where it's just super simple. And what this one says is, it says it says, hey, looking forward, hey, first name, looking forward to seeing you. In the meantime, here's some case studies. Here's our site, and here's a glimpse into how we think about things. And yeah, that's it. The key thing here, the second part of this. Um, I hope I'm doing good with time here. The second part of this is that we want to do manual outreach here midway through, because in theory, a salesperson should be researching their appointment in advance. There's nothing more frustrating to me when I speak with a rep. It depends on the situation. It depends on the product and service. To be honest, I can't say it's not wholly true. But when I speak to a rep and they have, like, they haven't done their, like, even the slightest bit of research on us, because it's like, come on, do research. So that's, in my mind, this has to happen anyways, and it certainly has to happen in our sales process. Like, we're very well researched before every meeting. So at a point in time, 50% of the way between booked meeting day and the actual meeting, we get a task in the CRM that says to research the prospect, get some notes down, and after we do that research, we'll send typically an email, but sometimes a text, and even like every very once in a while it'll be like a call. But calls are great. We just don't do it often. But we'll send like a message saying that, you know hey, it was really cool, like, learning about you're doing this, and I saw this on your site, and we're just super pumped to have this conversation, and exploring ways that we can collaborate, something like that. Anyways, again, what this is doing is it's adding a human touch, and it's putting a little social pressure, because they've seen that, like, not only did they book the time, reserve the time, that you are investing time, your own time, researching and getting prepared for this meeting. Now, it would just be outright rude if they didn't show up to that, which most people are good people. Then no one wants to be a rude guy or girl. Okay, then the next component here is no code automation. So we use make.com. You could use Zapier, you can use N8N, you can use probably several dozen other tools that do this, but we use Make. I think it's good. I want to say I'm a raving fan. Actually, I am a raving fan. We use it for a lot of stuff. It's a good tool. Very nice tool. What is this going to do? It's going to auto create the leads in the CRM. It's going to enroll the lead into a booked meeting workflow. It's going to add the lead to the email blast and newsletter tool. It's going to enroll the lead into a welcome campaign there. And it's going to create a task reminder in the CRM. So that's how that works. Now, the last thing, before we start to wrap this up, is the manual outreach. So as I mentioned in 3 and like a moment ago, a task is created for the rep to touch base with the prospect to share additional resources and pre-meeting research. Let the prospect know that we are investing time into this meeting. And best practice for us, we do this. For you, I can't tell you what's best for you, but I'll tell you, this has worked really well for us. The day before, at the end of every day, we look, our sales reps, and myself, because I do some of the sales here, we look at the appointments the next day, and we send them an email letting them know something, a little personalized email, nothing fancy. We're looking forward to speaking to them tomorrow. That's it. Simple. Nothing fancy. But just looking at a little human touch. again, just letting them know, reminding them in case they have other, and everyone's busy. They might have a million things going on. We want to remind them that we have a meeting lined up for tomorrow. And then if they need to cancel, that they have a kind of like have an opportunity to speak up and say that, you know what, actually tomorrow's not going to work. Then every morning we will start the day. We look at all the appointments we have lined up, and we will call, email, or text and confirm that, or confirm / let them know that we're looking forward to the appointment. It is as simple as that, my friends. Let's see what we have here. If there's anything, if there's nothing new here, then I don't know if I need to go over this. As I said, I thought that. Oh, this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think this is all pretty self-explanatory. You can flip to this resource. Just let me know if you want it. But yeah, it goes through and it gives a little explanation to the different channels, manual text, when to do them, automated email sequence, booking, and then the Calendly situation. Okay, so that's how that works. This is what the automation looks like for anyone who's interested. The Calendly comes in, it gets lead by email from close. So so what it does is it searches close to see if the meeting is already it searches close to see if the lead is already in the system. If it is not in the system, then it goes and creates a new lead and creates an opportunity and does all that stuff. If it is in the system, then it just changes the opportunity status and, etc. I think it's self-explanatory. Once it's inside of close, there's a trigger. This is the meeting book automation. One step, easy. Very, very easy. I would implement this today. I would stop. Well, don't stop this video. You might as well watch to the end. We're going to wrap up. There's like 30 seconds left here. But you just implement this. It's so easy. Person comes in, they get a simple thing. Oh, look, you can even see it. Hey, looking forward to chatting. In the meantime, then I have case studies, website, and a glimpse into how we look at things. And guys, gals, that's it. That is it. So what did we learn here today? We learned today how to. We learned a lot of stuff today. Here's the biggest thing. So what we did today to really bring it all together, we learned how to implement a pre-call nurture process. The pre-call nurture process is the critical process that goes between. It's in this dead space of time that goes between when the client books the meeting with you, or when you book them into your calendar, and the time of the actual meeting. Anything can go wrong here. If you do not use this time wisely, you are going to miss out on opportunities. It is that simple. And you will implement this, and you will see that instantly, assuming you have meetings coming on your calendar. If you have one meeting a month, I might not realize, but assuming you have meetings getting booked on your calendar, you're going to see like instantly that you're going to have more appointments showing up. And not only are they showing up more, which is a prerequisite to doing more sales, they're also going to show up more educated, with more trust. They're going to know more about you, know more about your service, know more about how you think about things. They're going to be more bought into the brand. All this stuff is going to dramatically increase the likelihood of conversion, because, again, we're starting that relationship building process very, very early on. So we learned how to do that whole process. Included in that was the steps that needed to be done, the tools that you need to do it, the philosophies, and how and how to increase the conversion, everything, whatever. Anyways, that's all. That is all for today. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you like this video, I implore you to take a moment of your time, click subscribe, like it, send me a comment, ask me any questions. What can I answer for you? I know more about this stuff than I ever would have wanted to, so please ask me any questions. I'm happy to help, happy to share insights, happy to share resources. Whatever you want, just drop me a note and I will do whatever I can to help. And if you think that this video would be a good fit for someone that you know, please, of course, grab the link in the URL, drop it, share it. And if you're feeling wild and you really want to go above and beyond, take that link and post it on all your social media channels. I think that would be tremendous. Tremendous. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for listening and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Cheers.